All right, so now that we have really gone over and established cognitive development, this section of the PowerPoint is really going to focus on emotional development. So, infants begin to develop emotionally by attaching to specific people, usually their mother. We've all kind of seen this. And so I'm going to show you this short YouTube video to kind of demonstrate what we're talking about. See if this works here.
Writing's not that great, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
My dear sweet mommy. I love my mommy, and my mommy loves me. My mommy. Go away from me. Leave me alone. Hey, Mommy, where do we get on your block? We don't have any. I didn't. I'm your block. Well, my gosh, Mama wants a block. My gosh, Mama's gonna have a block. Goodbye, and I still love you, Mama. My nice Mommy. My nice Mommy.
All right. So this was just it was a cute little video, but it really demonstrates the concept of imprinting. Imprinting is the inherited tendencies or responses that are developed by newborn animals when they encounter new stimuli in their environment. So in this case, it was the duck imprinting on Tom, the cat. Even though the cat is not his true mother, when he comes out of the egg, that's who he sees first. He imprints on Tom, the cat, and therefore believes that Tom is his mother. And so hopefully that gives you a nice little visual so that you'll be able to remember this concept of imprinting and how important it is. All right. It is especially important during the critical period, which is a specific time in development when certain skills or abilities are easily learned. This critical period of imprinting usually occurs between 13 to 16 hours after birth, which is why babies are so drawn to their mothers. However, if there was, let's say in the case of an animal, a duck or a goose that happened to imprint on a human being instead of a goose or the mother duck, this imprinting will be corrected later once it's exposed to its mother at a later point in time. So it's not permanent, but it's there for survival purposes because, we're all looking to someone to help us in this new environment when we're first born. Okay, so as far as attachment, human infants begin to form attachments to their mothers at around 6 months of age. It's especially strong between the ages of 6 months and 3 years. And attachment is a deep, caring, close bond between an infant and a caregiver. There are different anxieties, though, that can be associated with attachment. There is a such thing as stranger anxiety, and then there's also separation anxiety. So stranger anxiety is displayed when encountering a stranger. For example, if a mother, they may be present or they may not be present, but they encounter a stranger, and they feel unsafe, and it gives them anxiety. If the mother remains with the child or the infant while the stranger is around, then eventually the stranger anxiety will pass. With separation anxiety, though, this is displayed when a child is suddenly separated from their mother. If separation anxiety persists, then the child could develop psychological disorders. So separation anxiety has a chance to be a little bit more permanent. So there's different types of attachments, though, that are listed in your book. These were first identified by Mary Ainsworth during an experiment called the Strange Situation, where strangers were introduced to a room with a child and mother, and the mother would sometimes leave and come back. And then during this experiment, they would observe how the child reacted with this stranger in the room. And so because of that, these 4 types of attachment were observed. So they are secure attachment, avoidant attachment, resistant attachment, and disorganized attachment. All right, so let's go over these in a little bit more detail. So with the secure attachment, the infant is free of anger when the mom leaves and actually welcomes the mom back in her return. So if there's a stranger in the room, the mom leaves, and then the mom comes back. The child was free of anger, doesn't get mad at the mom, and is just happy to see them when they return. Okay. The second one, avoidant. They avoid or ignore the mom when she leaves and when she returns. So there's maybe a little bit of anger or resentment there that the child was left, and they kind of ignore the mom. Even when she returns, there's still a little bit of resentment there, that to the point that they're avoiding her because they didn't stay with her, or the child. Then there's resistant. Not upset about the mom leaving, but rejects or shows anger upon the mom returning. So lets the mom go, but when the mom comes back, they let the mom know that they were not happy that they left. And the last one is disorganized. This is a non-consistent set of reactions to the mother leaving or returning. So it's kind of all over the place a little bit. All right. All right, the last thing I want to say about these types of attachments is just that this disorganized attachment, the last one, it seems to be the least secure of all the attachments. And as far as mothers who seem to have secure attachments with their children, they tend to be mothers who are sensitive and responsive to their infants. However, there is a complex interplay between caregivers and infants, so it might go beyond being sensitive and responsive to an infant, but typically those mothers tend to have more secure attachments to their infants. All right, we're going to skip through these because you don't have the guided reading questions or answers. So skip through there. This is what we would have done in class. Sorry, I should have deleted those. All right, so this is just another transparency that goes over what we just talked about with the types of attachment. So, secure attachment, child's reaction to the mother leaving, balances need to explore with the need to be close. They ignore the mother if they're avoidant. If they're resistant, they're not upset at the mother's departure. And if they're disorganized attachment, they varies with from no reaction to reactions of anger. As far as the mother returning with secure attachment, welcomes the mother back and there's no anger expressed. With avoidant attachment, again, they're going to avoid their mother when she returns, and there's not really a known level of anger expressed. With resistant, they reject the mother when she returns. They're trying to, no, you hurt my feelings, I don't want to be around you, and there is a high level of anger expressed. And with the disorganized, again, when the mother returns, it varies from reaction to no reaction to rejecting the mother, and as far as the anger level would also vary here from no reaction to a high reaction. All right, we're going to stop there. So Jeannie is going to be the next thing that we discuss, but I don't really want to get into that here because that's going to be next week's assignment. So I'll hold off on that. So you guys should be completing Scavenger Hunt Part 2 after watching this PowerPoint video. Hopefully this helps you understand Chapter 3 a little bit better and helps you with answering your scavenger hunt questions. Most of you have already done Scavenger Hunt Part 1 and are doing an excellent job with that. I do want to say that the answers, a lot of times you guys were putting the correct answer, but the answer key was just, you maybe put the instead of a, or you put a capital letter instead of a lowercase letter. It was being very, very picky on Schoology. So I went back and awarded points. I also commented and told you if your answer was correct. And if your answer was incorrect, then I went and responded and told you what the correct answer was. So that's there for you to check out if you've already completed Part 1 of the scavenger hunt. Part 2 of the scavenger hunt is going to be very similar, so get that done. And if you get both parts done by Sunday night at 11:59, then you'll get credit for this week's assignment. And I will be putting grades in home access. I just found out about that today. And so I'm going to actually go right now and see if I can't create some categories in home access and kind of update grades with what I've seen so far. Again, hope you guys are doing well. If you need me, drop me a line, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Miss you. Bye.